Hi guys, welcome to Pretty Little Book Nerds. I'm one of your hosts, Genevieve,
I'm Danielle.
and today we're talking about everybody's favorite book, The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Everybody that I've talked to loves this book. There are multiple teachers at the building that I work at who, on their favorites list for this year, when I made them do that, put this as their favorite book. Multiple teachers.
Yeah, it's very, very well written. And
Yes.
Yeah, it's,
I said that in my...
I wasn't excited to, for some reason, whenever we decided to read this, I didn't know everything that exactly what it was about. I just knew, oh my god, it was one of the popular books or something, and, the cover.
Yeah. Cover's pretty.
So, as we started, or as I read the actual description, I was I don't know about this, and then I just got, entranced in it.
Yeah, and you rated it pretty high.
I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 3, which we just talked about before I hit record.
Yeah, because
we're bad
didn't
about
mean
that.
to start talking about it. We were reviewing our notes and everything. I think it's just more so that you weren't interested in the subject, and it's very. We'll just get into the plot. So it's about 2 sisters who are living in France and living at the time of World War II. Whenever Germany is invading, and it goes through their lives. So it's very intense and sad and realistic, because it's even though World War II happened about 80 years ago, there's people still alive that lived through it. And it's also at a time now that is insane for America.
Accurate.
Too. And I think that's what made it extra hard too, is
Maybe.
Holy shit, this could be happening to us. I don't know. But so anyways, these 2 sisters are living in France. One is married with a child. The other is 17-ish at the start, and she keeps getting kicked out of schools because she's just not interested.
Same.
And then the father doesn't want to take care of her because he's pretty much in a depressive state.
Yeah,
since
he's
the
kind
mom
of checked
passed
out.
away.
Yeah.
So they both have different views. So the husband, whenever the book starts, the husband of the first sister, Vianne, is already away fighting the war.
Yeah.
And Isabel is just got kicked out of another school. She wants to she goes back to the town where the dad lives. I can't remember if that is... No, it's not Paris, right?
No.
It's some other small town.
Or maybe it is. No, because the small town is where the other sister is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she decides, I'll help with the bookstore that the dad owns, and I'll live with him, help take care of him and stuff. Well, the dad's hell no, I don't want you here, pretty much. I'm going to send you away. So it just kind of goes through, it's I think a quarter of the book where they both have different perspectives of the war. Mm-hmm. Vianne is our husbands are out fighting in the war, and everything is going to be okay, and Germany's not going to invade, and it's not going to be that bad, and
it's kind of a blissful ignorance situation.
Yeah. And Isabel's holy shit, what can I do to help in the war? And we need to do things now. Before I go in, hang on. Yes, goes back to Paris. I have that written down. So the dad does live in Paris.
Yeah.
Um,
So Isabel starts working for this, like, underground... I don't know what to call it. Like...
well, hang on. Before that.
Oh, you're... Okay, I'll let you go.
Yeah, this is going to be a long episode, guys.
As if
I think
the last one wasn't.
Yeah, well, this one's going to be all about the book, hopefully, since we've already...
Is it?
We're recording these, like, back-to-back, so we don't have to talk about, like, what we're reading now. We can skip that, because we just
I don't
did.
know, but we're all ready.
Yeah. So, the first thing that happens is... the letters from the husband kind of stop. And Isabel is somewhere off because the dad sent her away from Paris. So she's trying to get to her sister's house in a small town in France.
Yeah, it's like their family home where they grew up and stuff.
Yeah. She experiences something way different than what Vianne does. Everybody, like, the roads are all, I want to say blocked, because there's, like, cars left in them and stuff, and, like, the Germans are just taking things that they want, so all of these French people are trying to migrate somewhere else to have a better life, and to kind of get away. So Isabel is, like, walking with them, and there's no other way to travel besides walking. She meets this guy, Gaten, who they kind of help each other make it along the way, and they end up seeing, like, at one point there's random bombs going off. So they're in, like, their clothes that they've been wearing for weeks, and their shoes that are now, like, it's pretty much like they're walking on the ground and stuff. And then they make it to Vianne's house. They're, like, hiding in the back or something because there's, like, Germans that walked up on them or something, and their ears are ringing because, like, a bomb went off near them. So, like, Isabel is all delusional, and she kind of passes out by the house, and I don't think realizes, like, oh, this is her sister's house, like, right away. Gaten leaves her.
Yeah, just abandons her.
He's going off to, like, help in the war, and she has mentioned that she wants to help, but he's like, you're, like, 18, there's nothing you can do, and it would just be, like, you die, like,
yeah,
quickly or something. So she goes into the house, Vianne takes care of her, and then they hear, so Vianne is a teacher at the local school. Her best friend Rachel lives, like, down the street, who is also a teacher, but Rachel's family is Jewish. That comes into play later, obviously. And so some guy shows up at Vianne's door and this is after the fact that Germans have already come into the city and, like, taken over businesses and stuff. Well, this guy who is a kind of a senior officer billets at her house. He's very respectful and lives in the room that, like, she gives him, and she cooks for him, even though there's, like, rations every day that they're only allowed to get. And, like, he'll bring home, like, wine or, like, special cheeses if he can. whenever Isabel gets better, she, like, treats this guy like crap because she knows what's going on, and Vianne's, like, not listening to her, doesn't listen to her about what she's already experienced.
She's very dismissive, and I feel like it's
It's that
genuinely
ignorance. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but on top of that, I also feel like there's, even if it was a different situation, she would still, like, not really care about her sister's opinions or her sister's view on it, because she has the mindset that, like, oh, you're just a young girl, like, you don't get it kind of thing.
Yeah, and she knows another thing that contributes to that is because, like, she runs away from, like, every boarding school that she gets sent to. So I can't remember, like, the exact... Hang on. Keep coughing.
Yeah, no.
Like, events, or the order of events that happen, but... So they make all of the Jewish people wear yellow stars on their clothes to differentiate them. The guy who's billeted at Vianne's house asks her about a list or something of Jewish people, and she doesn't quite understand, but she gives, like, names of people. Actually, I think that happens later. But anyways, so, like, the Germans are taking over more and more of the city, and there's, like, less and less food. There's no clothes coming in, like, no shoes. So Vianne has to, like, make do, and along with all of the other French families there. So, also at this point, too, like, people that are Jewish, but I don't know how they chose them. Like, I think at first it's just randomly, like, okay, these are Jewish people, let's send them on the trains, and, like, nobody understands, like, where they're going. And then, you know, it's, like, more and more down the line, they're just, like, getting rid of people, and they're shooting people in the streets. Also, as soon as this guy starts living at their house, the Germans want, like, everything of value too, like any weapons, any cars that run, anything. Isabel, being, like, she's actually really smart in this situation. And she takes all of, like, Vianne's jewelry, anything that's worth anything, and hides it in this, like, underground bunker of this huge garage. And then locks it and drives their old car over it so that nobody can actually see, and then, like, unplugs something and hides the keys. So that even if you have the keys, like, you can't start that car. And then they play ignorant and are like, that hasn't run for years and stuff. So that's also hidden in there. There's also weapons in there too. So anyways, when the war kind of changes, like, and takes a drastic turn, how does it go? Isabel gets hired, like, on the down low to put up these posters that are, like, anti-Nazi propaganda. She doesn't get caught. Another person in her group does, but anyway, she's been doing this. She, like, leaves the house at, like, 3 a.m. to do it when nobody's on the streets.
And she's also, I don't know if this is later on or not, but she also puts things in mailboxes as well.
Yeah.
The like, kind of newspaper-y type.
Yeah, I think that's all, like, the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Beck is the guy who's billeted at their house and who is, like, really nice and respectful to them. He goes after Isabel for some reason. I think because, like, he kind of puts two and two together and is, like, onto her that, like, she's one of the people doing this, or she knows who it is. So he finds her in the garage when she's hiding from him. Vianne grabs something and, like, hits him with it and kills him. Before this, Beck warns her, though, that the Nazis are going after Rachel and her family. So, this was so hard to read. So when Vianne is escorting them to the border to, like, help them out, Nazis already know, like, there's people, you know, they're all over the border. There's people waiting to see who's trying to escape. And Rachel has 2 kids right now. One of them, the little girl, gets shot. So Rachel and the son, who is, like, 2 at the time, they all go back home. They have to, like, leave the little girl. Vianne takes in the baby, or the 2-year-old, I can't remember, and, like, gives him a different name. And gives him a backstory of, like, I don't have his papers, but he, she doesn't have papers yet. She finds somebody to, like, create papers, though, for him, and creates a backstory of, like, it was, a cousin's kid, and the cousin had died, or something. So then the Nazis do get to Rachel, and they're escorting her on a train, and that's when, like, Vianne takes the kid, because she knows, like, he's never going to be seen again. So instead of getting into, like, too many details and going through everything, maybe we should just go through the points. So, like, Vianne is realizing, like, Isabel was right this entire time, and this is, like, shit. So what she does to help out, because she ends up getting fired from her teaching job from, like, asking why they're targeting one of the other teachers, who is Jewish, and, like, why he needs to go whenever he's French anyways, so they end up firing her. She gets paperwork for Daniel, the little boy, and then tells her daughter's 6. Sophie?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar? Okay. And Sophie and Sarah were, like, best friends, too. The little girl who got shot. She tells Sophie, like, this is your new brother. This is where we got him. Even though, like, Sophie has seen this boy, like, her entire life. Because he's, you know,
like, around the same age as her,
Yeah. So, oh my god, I have, like, so many trains of thought, and I'm like, I don't know where to start.
This book is, like, over 500 pages long. It's a thick book, so there's a lot that happens.
It's like, okay, so we'll talk about Vianne first, because we need to, like, discuss every character. She gets involved with, this person in a church who, I think that's the person that helps her get the paperwork for Daniel. And this person is like, there's other kids here that parents went on that train and, like, to never come back. So she's, like, helping them get papers and, like, different things. Throughout this whole war, from, like, when she started to the end, I think it said, like, she saved, like, 18 kids, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like some adoption place. I can't remember what it was, or a home for kids. Maybe it was a home for kids. Yeah. That sounds familiar. Yeah, so she she does that. Sophie has to grow up super fast because, I mean, she's 6 when this starts, and then, like, they take in a baby that's, like, not her brother, but she has to say he's her brother, and she's, like, I mean, 8 or something after a little bit, and is taking on, like, chores and helping cook, and, like, has to, like, help her mom, too. Which is crazy for, like, a kid to live through this. Anyways, while Vian is helping, these, like, other kids whose parents have passed away, and Beck disappears. People are looking for him, too. And she's just like, I have no idea, because, you know, the captains and the soldiers who billet at people's homes, like, they don't tell them where they're going.
Yeah.
Another captain decides to billet at their home. And he's completely opposite of Beck. He is like, this is gonna be my room. I'm gonna take the best room. You guys pretty much go away.
Basically.
Yeah, fend for yourselves. Oh wait, I don't think I mentioned, though, that, like, before Beck dies? No, after Beck dies sometime, Isabel leaves. We'll tell you where she is.
Oh, should we not get into that
I was
yet?
gonna go through, like, how the captain is treating everybody first. So this next captain, you know, he brings his coffee in. I specifically remember this. Like, he has coffee, and he makes Vian make it for him, but then, like, a lot of times he doesn't drink it all, and he just pours it down the sink, because, like, he's not going to give her anything, any special treatment. He does end up raping her.
Yeah.
And after, like, the first time, she just takes it, because she's like, there's no use fighting for it. He's the kind of guy who's like, he wants her to fight for it.
Yeah. He
wants her to, like, show pain and stuff, and she doesn't, but sometimes she, like, gives him what he wants, because she doesn't want him to, like, go after Sophie at all.
Yeah.
Or, like, do anything. So, yeah, I think that's all with him. So, now to Isabel, and, like,
her crazy story, which is insane.
Yeah. So, Isabel leaves sometimes. What she does is, so the property that Vian's house is on is, like, they must have, like, 20 acres or, like, even more. It's a huge plot of land. They find a downed airman on their land, and helps him, like, kind of get better, because his plane crashed somewhere, and he ended up just walking up to their house. So she goes back to her group of people who are putting out this propaganda, and they're, like, discussing, oh, there's other downed airmen, and, like, if we can get them over to Spain, yeah, then they can get picked up, go back to England, get on planes, and, like, keep doing this.
Yeah.
Like, helping to fight in the war. So, and she's like, oh, I can do this. I think it's her, and I don't want to mention it, because it's, like, a big spoiler, but...
Oh, then don't. We might leave out things.
Some stuff.
Yeah, because there are a lot of puzzle pieces to this book specifically that, like, if you say one thing, it unravels so many other parts that it can't really be talked about unless, like, because, like, there are going to be people that will listen to this and have read the book before and things like that, but there might be somebody listening to this who hasn't read the book before and is curious about what it's about to see if maybe they can handle the content. And yeah, it's not worth giving away some of the big reveals in this book.
Well, also, there's too much, too.
There's a lot, yeah.
So we'll just keep the other characters out of it, but Isabel pretty much takes the airman, the guy, and there's, like, one or two other ones, too, that she's helping. So, like, they all have stories. They hike across the Pyrenees Mountains, stay at some random people's houses, and then get them across to Spain. So, like, she saves them. Then she comes back, and I think that's when this other captain is there. Maybe, but she does this multiple times, like, takes this trek to help people. And I do want to add, every once in a while in this book, it skips forward to, like, the 90s, in America, and it talks about some woman, some mom of, like, her son and, like,
and basically, she's getting old.
Yeah, she's getting older. France invited her to some banquet to honor her. And throughout the book, like, you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're not giving that away.
Yeah, you do find out at the end. It's amazing.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah, but then
that whole last chapter is worth reading, the whole book. Even coming from somebody that would probably not read this book ever again. Like, yeah.
I do want to go through my tabs and, like, mention. So, the first page, you have this quote. In love, we find out who we want to be. In war, we find out who we are. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
The writing in this book is really what kept me going back to it. Also Danielle texting me, how much further have you gotten in the book? That helped, keep me on my toes.
But it was like, you just want, I don't know. I was like entranced in it.
Yeah, the writing is just stellar. Like,
and I read most of it. I listened to Audible, like, a little bit.
I listened to most of it. Part of it was long car rides that I had going on, and then the other part of it was getting sick and not being able to read, so I had to listen to it. And I will say I feel like that also kind of gave me a bit of an unfair disadvantage, because I was trying really hard to keep up with the book, but I was very, very sick, and so I was listening to it, but I was dozing off a lot and, like, zoning in and out a lot, and so I feel like that also probably didn't help me enjoy the book,
because it's not like I feel like it was, like, too relaxing, the audio, and, like, because there's not, like, funny voices or romance scenes or
the voice was very soothing, yes, but also just, like, I don't know, when you're so ill to the point of, like, you can't, like, move, you're like, you'll just fall asleep at the drop of a hat. So
so again, towards the beginning of the book, this is actually page 27, so before Isabel really goes anywhere, she's talking to her friend, before everything, obviously before the start of, like, really getting bad, but her friend, who is a guy, says, "Don't be mad. I'm just tired of the war talk, and it's a fact that women are useless in war. Your job is to wait for our return."
Yeah, I remember.
And I feel
that.
like this is like the thesis to this entire
book.
Yeah.
And it's a thought process that is still very prevalent today, even though, like, women are a part of our war efforts now. Like, not that they weren't back then, but, like, more, like, I don't know. I'm not great with language. Help me out here. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing the fighting.
I mean, just within the last, like, 40 years, it's been different.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, but then now it's, like, going back. Like.
Yeah, which is insane. But that's.
People don't want us to vote and do anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, Isabel she changes her name to, and gets new identification to, like, help the airmen. I don't know why I flagged that.
Maybe to just remember it or something?
Yeah, well, like, you know when you're reading and you don't know, like, oh, I might forget that part or something.
Yeah.
We won't say...
It's really difficult.
Where the name of the book.
No.
Why? Yeah.
It's really difficult with this book to discuss it and give, like, a good review, or not, like, a good review, but, like, an in-depth review, because of the fact that, like I said, everything is such a tangled web with this book, where, like, if you say one thing, it could unravel a different thing, and then that could,
and then, like, more secrets and, characters. Yeah, just because you're going through the two sisters' lives, and, like, whenever they are apart, it's, a lot of the times, it's very different for both of them.
Yes.
Oh, okay, here's... Okay. Vianne looked at her daughter defeated. Sophie was growing up in a world where boys in her class were put in train carriages like cattle at the point of a gun and perhaps never seen again. Another German is going to billet here. So that's after she had killed Captain Beck and before the other guy gets there. But yeah, it's just, you know, her daughter's growing up in a crazy
situation.
Yeah, that, like, you wouldn't wish any kid to grow up in.
No.
And with what's going on right now.
That's what I was about to say. It's a very...
we're constantly getting emails here in Chicago from the kids at schools that, like, ICE is in the neighborhood and...
Yeah. And as someone that works for a school district, we have trainings on how to handle, like, a situation like that if it were to come up, if an ICE agent were to come up to us, like, at the fence on the playground, or try and come in through the front door, or come up to the main office, like, we're told what to do.
Because they're not allowed to be on school property at all. No.
And I've made this very clear, so hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble, but, like, I may not know some of the kids in my building super well, but, like, I would protect them with my life, like, if it came to that. And I think a lot of people, at least in my building, and hopefully in education as a whole, are in a similar situation like that. Like, I mean, we shouldn't have to be at that point. And it's weird to compare it to something like this, something that we know was so serious, but we see it from a perspective of the fact that it already happened.
Yeah, and then it's, like, connecting it to, like, what's happening now, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah. If you can compare something that's going on now to something that happened during World War II, that's when you know there's a problem. Like, that should be the red flag right there.
I did mark the paragraph about the coffee.
Oh.
Because, like, I know coffee's such a small thing. Well, it's a big thing in my life. But it's showing his personality and how devious he is and how powered he is just to be able to, like, walk into somebody's home and take over. Oh, and then this is, the mother, the person who's in charge of the children's home.
Oh, yeah.
So she says to Vianne, "You are the leader of this now," because she had already saved, like, a couple kids at this point. So you are the leader of this now, and if we are risking our lives for one child, we may as well try to save more.
Mm-hmm.
No one here can oh my god, can know the truth. The children will have to be coached and have paperwork that passes inspection, and you would need a position here, perhaps as a teacher, as a part-time teacher, that would allow us to pay you a small stipend and would answer questions about why you are here with the children. So that kind of begins her journey.
Yeah. This is a very heavy book, which I feel like...
But it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. The writing is incredible. And I think I even said that, like, in my Goodreads review. Like, I said, like, I realized why people enjoy this book so much. The writing is very captivating. The storyline is intense. But I did also make a mention that if you're like me and you're new to the world of historical fiction or just historical writing in general, this is not the place to start.
Probably not, but, like, if you've already read Kristin Hanna's books, like, maybe.
Well, also with
Or
Kristin
just...
Hanna, though, she has some books in her catalog that are not historical romance at all. They're, like, literary fiction.
Yeah, I think I have The Magic Hour. I don't know.
Yeah, there's one of hers that I really want to read that's, like, not a historical fiction. I can't think of what it's called right now, but...
what I meant was, like, if you've read any of her books, then, like, you would still like this.
Yeah. And then I also... Gosh, this was last year, I think, or maybe the beginning of this year, I'm not sure. I read her book, The Women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is about the Vietnam War, I believe.
I've never read that, I don't know.
And it's not the same setup as The Nightingale because, well, obviously it's a different book, so it's got to be set up a little bit differently. But it is very... I would consider that to be maybe more of a, like, dip your toe in the pool kind of thing if you're trying to get to a point where you, like, can comfortably read historical fiction, because honestly after this I think it's going to be a while before I read something strictly historical fiction, just because of how heavy it was and because of how intense it was, and I was just not 100% prepared for that. So I would say if you're going into it, just know what you're getting yourself into, and I don't know, call a therapist. Maybe. Yeah.
Do we have anything else? I don't think so.
I actually don't. We're recording this the same day as the last episode that came out, so we're reading the same books we were then. But I just want to say, as we're nearing the end of the second half of the year, the end of the year in general.
Yeah.
And while this will be our second to last episode of 2025, that I've really enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool getting to do this with you. We're gonna get sappy.
It has been.
And 2026 is gonna be wild. already. We already know some stuff that's going on.
It's taken up, like, a lot of our lives right now.
Oh my god, yeah.
To prepare.
It really has. But I would not trade it for anything. I mean, for those that... This is not necessarily super book related, but for those that know me and those who don't, I have been obsessed with Joe Santagato and Santagato Studios for like 10 years. They have a podcast called The Basement Yard, and I have listened to that podcast. I've watched all of Joe's videos since I was like 13, which was probably way too young to be watching his stuff, but whatever. Especially back then, because if you think it's crazy now, you should see some of his older videos. But he is really, him and what he's done with Santagato Studios is really the reason I decided to start doing Dodson production stuff. And I would love it if we got to a point where, like, it was genuinely our full-time jobs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, the way it's going right now, it's just consistently going up, which is nice to, like, look at, like, the reports of listeners and where people are listening from, too. That's really interesting. One of our earlier episodes had a high listener rate for Germany, which was so fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lori Gilmore. Apparently she's big in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, that makes sense since she has, like, the Daisy one coming out over there, like,
Yeah.
way before here.
It's already out over
the
there.
other. Oh, God. So jealous. Okay.
I know. But yeah, 2026. That's the year we're just gonna keep climbing. We're gonna keep doing stuff, and then one day we can quit our jobs, and this is what we'll do. But thank you for listening, and we will see you for one episode in December. We're taking 2 weeks off in December, just as a production as a whole, to celebrate the holidays and focus on our families and not have something constantly nagging on us while we're trying to spend time with our families.
It's nagging.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, but just so we can fully put time into our families and stuff, for the holidays. But then we'll be back in January, and then February is going to be crazy. We can't talk about that yet, but we're just going to keep alluding to it in every episode up until then. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Stick with us in 2026, because there's some insanity coming. And we'll see you next time when we review Megan Quinn's Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, which we're currently reading. And yeah, keep reading. I don't know how to end this, so okay. I kind of went on a thing.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.